Greetings, visionaries. This is your host, the INFJ Visionary. And we're going to talk about a few different topics. Been doing my usual scroll on the old INFJ search. Seems to be a great, just a great way to take the temperature of the INFJ world, almost on every other day basis. So today we're going to start off with, I saw a video that was pretty much, playing off our not belonging component, which is a big part of being an INFJ. We don't belong. Why don't we belong? And hey, I understand. I seldom belong. But I have belonged, and I think that's one thing about INFJs. We can choose to slot in. You could have an INFJ that is the president of the class, for example, just knows how to use their extroverted feeling function so well and give the people what they want so much that they can be, the head of the clique if they want to be. But internally, the problem is that they will be feeling a little bit hollow, I think, because ultimately they're an alien. Kind of like, what's that movie, Man Who Fell to Earth? The guy, he was an alien, but he come down and he put on a toupee and some contact lenses and stayed out of the sun. And everyone thought he was a human, but he wasn't. He was an alien. And that's kind of like us. And yes, we don't belong. What can you do? Well, first of all, you do belong somewhere. You belong with people that understand and appreciate you and the sorts of things that you're into and that you like. And I recommend finding those people. And I don't recommend finding them online. The problem with that is that it's low hanging fruit. On one hand, you don't have to leave the house. You can just join, I guess, I'm an old dragon, so you'll forgive me, but maybe a Reddit group, INFJ, losers at reddit.com. I don't know. Anyway, I've been online as long as anybody, longer than most. And I've had all sorts of friends come and go, and that's the one thing that I think is very consistent, that online relationships don't have ongoing traction. The exception I would make to that is if you somehow manage to connect in the real world. So I think the real world's where it's at. And if you want to find your tribe, you want to find your people, you need to get out of the house and you need to make some efforts. And you don't need to make major efforts. You don't need to overthink it. You just need to move. Just find a direction and move in it, and the universe will support you. It'll come up underneath you and carry you to the people that you need to connect with to have a fruitful existence. So that's my answer to the we don't belong thing. You're not going to be content not belonging. Maybe there's some types that do the hermit thing. An INFJ can be a hermit, and it can go for a few months. we can go for a few months or so, but ultimately I don't think as a day in day out existence year after year that's going to be very satisfying. So that brings us to myth and legacy. Now, legacy is something that I am very, very interested in, very concerned with. But then again, I am an old dragon, and you can see me in my study in the morning having a nice giant cup of dragon tea. It's got mushrooms in it. I'm going to tell you that now. But anyway, it's mushroom tea, yeah. Being old, I'm way more concerned with legacy than I was when I was younger. But what's interesting about this life? I mean, I've been here for a while, a long time. And way over half a century. How about that? Not way, but definitely over half a century. And we dragons are long-lived, but that's still quite a while to be around. On the one hand, on the other hand, it seems like it passed very quickly, and I can look back at my life and remember various episodes and things that happened, and they seem not that long ago, even though they were, right? uh, which which ties into the myth part of myth and legacy, because I think everybody is walking around creating their own sort of internal myth, right? Some to large degrees and some to lesser degrees. But the stories we tell ourselves are the main motivator of our existence, and stories are very, very important to human beings. In fact, I can't speak. I don't know if stories are important to animals or to other light forms that may be similar to human beings. I can't speak to that because I am an INFJ and a dragon, which is very similar to a human being, very, very similar indeed in many cases. We tell ourselves myths. Some of the myths we might tell ourselves is that I'm a great artist, and I'm creating work that will endure for centuries and be well regarded. That could be a myth, and it's also a myth that segues into legacy, right? You're leaving behind a legacy, you're leaving something behind. And I think that is definitely an INFJ attribute because we're constantly faced with the wave of change. And which leads us to the other thing I wanted to talk about, which is the reason we're always one step ahead of everyone else, it seems. Now, the the giant exception to this is our blind spots. We're not one step ahead of a situation that we're not even aware of, right? So don't get too cocky. There was a video about this. Why you're one step ahead of everyone else? Why they're in awe of your NI abilities. And yeah, I don't know. Most people, most of the time, don't even know I have NI abilities. And although I have to admit, I'm not really that aware of how I'm perceived by others. And I think, I think this could very much be a function of being an INFJ as well. I mean, on the surface level, we can tell what people want and we can give it to them. And when you're talking about that, everything's fine, everything's good. But when you're living and acting from a more authentic sort of perspective as an INFJ, then you're in the world of NI. And the world of NI is not the world most people are occupying. And to the degree that you occupy this world is the degree that you're really not going to have much of a clue how other people perceive you because they just think, well, maybe it's as simple if they're not that bright, they might just think, well, he's weird. What a weird dragon, man. You know, you don't really, I don't know what he's on about. On the one hand, now those that may be a little more on the ball, have a little more on the ball, they might just go, well, they think outside the box, or they, they're always coming up with the stuff that other people aren't really, coming up with, or what have you. And that's all good. I think you can dial that one step ahead thing. You can use your introverted intuition very much like a radar, and you can focus in on things. Um, like I said, the problem is generally that we may not be as dialed into things that other people think are super important and interesting. So we're one step ahead, but we're one step ahead on our own tangents. So if you want to be one step ahead of everyone else, the problem with that is that you're really going to have to start caring a lot about what other people are into, caring about status, caring about those sorts of things if you really want to slot in with the world. And I don't think, honestly, like some of us will and some of us do, but long term, I don't think that's a path to INFJ happiness. And I have a couple other things we talk about, but we'll move those over to the next broadcast we'll do in a couple of days. And I think we did pretty well today. And I hope you're having a new year, INFJs, 2026. That's going to be your year. Make it all happen. This is a year where your all your plans and schemes bear fruit. And that's it for this talk today. Until I come back very soon. Keep on keeping on, INFJ.